Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, the title of this lesson is going to be entitled, Never Let a Good Crisis Go to Waste. And I first and foremost heard that quote from Apostle Gabar, however, it was in reference to a guy named, I believe his name is Emmanuel Ram, if I'm not mistaken. 1 second. Ram Emmanuel, I'm sorry. And I'm actually pull that particular quote. However, I just came across this video by AMTV, and it says Beijing contaminated, martial law declared, lockdown coming to American cities. Right, so let me just play some of this video real quick. Then we're going to head into the scriptures.
Hey everybody, Christopher Green, AMTV Alternative Media Television. Please like and share this video worldwide. Have an emergency update. The capital of China has now fallen officially into a quarantine. Not only are 500 plus million people already in quarantine in China, we're seeing people being brought out by their shirts, screaming, yelling, panicking, running from police as they're beaten, thrown into moving vans, and then forced in what they call our quarantine hospitals. But then what we see on heat maps, I showed you this yesterday, very, very alarming. Another reason to share this because they want to cover it up. And they don't want it out to the American public and global citizens worldwide. We could see the heat maps of the bodies allegedly being burned. Now, reported yesterday, I'm going to get into the Beijing quarantine here in a minute. This, again, is a global cover-up. It is a biological weapon of death. Many of you think, and myself included, to cull the population, not just in China, but worldwide. I believe this is coming to America. And look, if they can shut down city after city, 500 million people in forced quarantine, lock down cruise ships and floating prisons, what makes you think that this isn't coming to the United States? That they couldn't do this, God forbid, in New York City or Chicago, Los Angeles, Phoenix. And I was tweeting this earlier. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at AMTV Media. Thank God we have the Second Amendment here in the United States of America. I mean, that is the last line in the sand before absolute tyranny. Also, the Premier of China, Mr. Xi, actually made a rare appearance after being in hiding over the last couple of weeks. Now, if you see the images, it looks staged. Of course, he's got the mask on. I'm sure everything's been sanitized and before his visit. But that, to me, almost seems more eerie than his disappearance because they're trying to make it seem as if things aren't as bad as they truly are when they've now just locked down officially one of the largest cities and the capital of China on the planet. Beijing falls in an I am legend moment. I mean, I was talking about this earlier. It's almost like we live in the Matrix or something, right? We have Donald Trump as president of the United States, former Apprentice reality TV star. Don't get me wrong, I love the president, I support him, but still, those are the facts. Now we have a mutating biological zombie apocalypse weapon that has infected millions, according to the Chinese billionaire that I reported on yesterday. 50,000 bodies burned in crematoriums, hospitals going up all over the world, people quarantined in floating ships. I mean, what's next? Alien disclosure? UFOs? I mean, really, it's getting out of control. Beijing falls.
Check that out. And all of that is Bible prophecy. When they talking about alien invasion, it's actually what you call the angels of the Heavenly Father. Aliens just means foreigner. If you want to get technical, Esau and Edom, the so-called white man, he's the real alien. He was the foreigner, that pretty much took over the Americas, by way of the sword, by way of bloodshed, rape, robbery, and murder. However, all the things that he's actually mentioning is Bible prophecy, and this will be coming to America. They are blowing this thing up. They are, and one thing about, these elites, they're all in collusion. They actually took this particular show off of Netflix. It was called 13. And the show actually symbolized, countries like Russia, China, America, North Korea, South Korea. Here it is. They were all performing chants in the form of a ritual as one, as an all together, as an all one agreement, you know. And they was pretty much showing you how a lot of these elites actually fake their death. They actually fake their death, and they're all in one agreement of a new world order. They all in one agreement of a new world order. So it's just a big game. All of this is just a big game to the elites, and the media is the middleman between the general public and the elites. So whatever the elites want the people to believe, they're going to use their media for the people to believe it. That's just the way the situation goes, right? But here it is the quote from Rahm Emanuel. You never let a serious crisis go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. And Esau, here it is. What Esau does, he studies history. Esau studies history, and everyone attempted to establish a new world order, but was unsuccessful. Going from the Tower of Babel, during the time of the Greeks and everything like that. And here we are in the second leg of Rome. They're attempting to establish a new world order. And what these other empires didn't do, they didn't create problem, reaction, solution scenarios, that actually cause the agenda to prosper, so to speak, in their favor. So they're pulling all the rabbits out of the hat on this one. And one of them is via the coronavirus. Here it is. You heard Christopher Green and AMTV say that this is a biochemical plague, disease or whatever the case is, meaning what is created, and the disease is actually going to be in the vaccination. It's actually going to be in the vaccination, and it's going to cause a lot of people to go into a mass hysteria, and it's going to create a big problem, for the people who's not covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai, essentially, right? Let's get into the scriptures, man. I pretty much just wanted to get into, Second Ezra was that 15, I believe. Because here it is, martial law is declared over there in Beijing, and I believe they said that was the biggest or one of the most popular cities out there in China. Here it is, someone I know, she actually notified me that the post office, the United States Postal Service, they are prohibiting shipments coming in and out of China. So what? They're not allowing this crisis to go to waste. This coronavirus situation is being dragged out, a little longer than a lot of these other plagues that was formulated. And the last one, I believe, that we know of a couple years back was the Ebola and the chikungunya, but they're actually dragging out this coronavirus situation, which was also in The Simpsons. This is something that was in The Simpsons years ago. So showing you that they had a plan and the agenda for years now, right? But this is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So death and destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. We see the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. An example of that sword and destruction is the coronavirus, martial law. These scenarios that are actually happening, over there in China, and it will come to America. It will come to America in due season. Like he said, they're going to lock down the major cities, Chicago, New York, LA, Miami, they're going to lock it down, man. It says, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what's going to happen during the hour of martial law. You're going to have a whole race war out here. You're going to have class wars out here. One people are going to come together and fight against another people. This is all Bible prophecy. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, meaning what? A lot of people is going to rise up to the government because they don't agree with the terms. And that's essentially going to come in when they take away the Constitution, the amendment rights. That's one thing that Christopher Green had mentioned. He's like, good thing we have a Constitution in place, you know. But when that goes, that's probably that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, that's what I'm pretty much saying, roughly paraphrasing to what he was saying. You know, once they actually start targeting that amendments, you know, the constitutional rights, it's all downhill from there. But it's all uphill for us, you know, because we waiting upon this thing, man. We it's like the brothers is salivating, waiting for this place to fall, right? It says, in invading one another, it's going to be a lot of B&Es, you know, breakings and enterings of homes. It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What's that entitled? Martial law. You saw the video clip of him mentioning martial law. That's coming here to the soils of America. You know, you're not going to be able to travel from Newark to Irvington or Newark to Plainfield, New Jersey. You're not going to be able to travel from Jersey City to New York City. You know, you're not going to be able to travel from Sacramento to Los Angeles or Tampa to Miami. They're going to lock the cities down. And if you do have permission, they're going to make sure that you have a chip, you know, a RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. When they call themselves having society rehabilitated, right? It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. You know, men is going to be afraid. How much more the women in that day? You know, but it's all essentially because of pride. You know, the city shall be troubled under what? Martial law. The houses shall be destroyed under what? Martial law. Because guaranteed, they will be going from house to house, confiscating guns. They will be going from house to house, checking to see if you got a microchip, which is the mark of the beast, if you have your vaccinations and everything like that. And they're going to come with big-ass army guns in their hand. So that's what's going to cause the people to be afraid and being more so comply. Because with fear comes compliance, you know, and that's what they're going to institute. You know, but we of the hopeful elect fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We say, fuck what man can do unto us because our power controls man. It says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's what's coming, man. The lack of bread, which is a famine, and great tribulation. You know, so what? These Edomites, these elites, they are not allowing this crisis to go to waste, man, which is the coronavirus. You know, they're not allowing it. You know, the neighbor that you say hello and good morning to every day, you're going to be looking at them like your enemy in that day because it's going to be all about what? Resources, you know, and he has the most resources is going to be considered to be in a great case, but the only individuals who's going to be in a great case is the elect. The second Ezra chapter 16 verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. This is martial law, which is already being instituted over there in Beijing, China, because of this coronavirus. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. So those of you who take vaccinations and get your children to take vaccinations, you're going to be held in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. The same thing goes with the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities, those cities, he said in every city in America, right? A great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. You know, so the government is going to come up against the prophets, you know. So what? We know these things is coming. So what? We're counting the cost. The Lord is preparing our spirit to be sound in that day. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. You know, so in that day, it's going to be known who's the chosen of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. When everybody's coughing up a lung in blood and you're right next to the individual coughing up lung and blood and you feel fine, that's a case, an example of you being of the Lord's chosen. You know, the plagues are not going to affect you. You know, it says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." You know, the Lord can have it to where a martial law trooper just can't even see you. You know, the Lord, here it is in your mind, you feel like you're visible, but the Lord can make you invisible. You know, to where these martial law troopers are just gonna just walk right past you. You know, you could be in your house. They could barge into your house. You know, here it is, you on your couch, you see them. You know, and they were like, they search in the room, they search in your place or whatever the case is, and then they're going to report back to their superior, oh, the place is clear. Situations like that can possibly happen. This is my imagination going, but hey man, marvel not. Marvel not. The Lord's going to let it be known who his chosen is and who his chosen are. You know, the Lord said he's going to deliver us from the same. The trouble being at hand, but guess what? He's going to deliver us from the same. It says, "Be ye not afraid, neither gout, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts." That's who the Lord is dealing with. Save the Lord power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. You know, so you don't never want to beat yourself up, right? Because that's that woe is me spirit that we're not subscribing to. You know, the Lord is about to bring in the kingdom and crown us, you know, being kings, man, for standing stiffly for this truth and for his namesake. It says, "Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with the bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith." You know, last and final scripture. So, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua got us, man. You know, but it's beautiful to see the prophecies unfold. You know, the very book that we've been reading from for years, you know, the Lord is allowing this thing to roll out. Revelation 3:10, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." So the only people that the Lord is going to preserve are those who are keeping the word of his patience. That's going through hell, that's going through tribulation, that's actually going through things. You know, the Lord is also going to keep us from the hour of temptation, which essentially is that chip, which is the mark of the beast, alongside all of the hell that's going to come with it. You know, martial law, you know, pestilence and plagues, you know, all of the above, man. You know, so these Edomites, you know, they're not allowing a good crisis or serious crisis to go to waste. You know, they are milking it, you know. So with that, I would like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.